Hey, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. This is a really cool junk journal. It's a big one. It's 6.5 by 10 1/4. That's really big. And this plate here is from the 1920s from a children's book. It says Miss Holland here. So what I did is I have been collecting ephemera from lots of different countries: Holland, Germany, England, Scotland, Ireland, Canada, America. So I have lots of Dutch uh, ephemera, and I've been asked many times in the past if I could add some Dutch ephemera for people who have Dutch heritage or live in Pennsylvania, maybe Pennsylvania Dutch sort of thing. So I thought I would add a few pieces of Dutch ephemera to this one, but it's really an everything journal. So let me take you on a little tour. This is actually an antique book. It's a book on North American birds, but it had a plain cover, so I turned it into this junk journal. So right here on the front here's a little Dutch boy climbing up to the windmill here. That is from early 1900s. And then this is not Dutch, but it's a beautiful cityscape in Europe here. And then I made that little pocket there. This is just a really fun magazine page from the 50s. Easy to do craft work. Look at all these wonderful ladies who make crafts, and those are how to make different boxes. I love the purple. You don't see that actually very often in 40s and 50s publications. I made this little tag here out of 1800s paper and a leaf that fell out of this book. I always try to keep the flowers and leaves from the books they came from when I'm lucky enough to find one. 30s page there, and a 1940s theater World Magazine page here, which I love. If you look at the advertisements for the different plays here playing in New York City and on Broadway, really, really cool. Isn't that great? The bunny rabbit and the turtle. This is a card that I made that you can reuse. It's got the matching envelope. So this is not antique, but all of the paper and ephemera on there is. This pocket here is from the 1930s as well. And then this here, I added this one here from 1937 because it was the world we live in and the people we live with. So that includes people from everywhere in the world. This is a feather that I found in my backyard, and that's beside the ducks from a vintage bird diary ledger. And this is another vintage botanical page in a 1951 university yearbook page, flipped around. And look at this beautiful vintage napkin here, and it's from Holland, obviously. A little souvenir piece. Look at the beautiful wooden shoes and the pipe. It's lovely. So that's quite a special little piece there. Here we go. And then this here is a page that I took out of a vintage book that was one of the Book of the Month clubs. And when you have those, they would insert this. So the owner of this book put this inside, glued it inside the book, which I thought was really cool. And it makes for a great journaling booklet. Here's a page on Amsterdam from 1927 from the My Book House series. This is vintage paper here and a beautiful piece of doily there. And this is from a very, very old book from Chatterbox from the 1920s. And then we've got a map of Central Holland there. This is just another 1930s book page, antique paper on the back. And then we've got this wonderful little plate here with the Dutch girl flying through the wind, their wooden shoes and the windmills in the back there. It's quite sweet. This is actually from the early 1900s. The photography is fantastic, but that is from the My English Garden book. This is just a little pamphlet here I did with my cutoffs from a vintage botanical book page. And this is one of my 1890s Guards Watchman dials. And then this is a hand-typed research paper here, and the research is from 1886. Fun cluster up here. Really old playing card. Very neat. You can upcycle that. And there is from the 1970s, so a 50-year-old telegramma piece, telecommunications piece there. Here is a really fun toy making craft, 1925, the Dutch windmill. How to make a Dutch windmill out of paper and wood. This here is just a really sweet greeting card, over 50 years old, this one, and I just really, it just suits being in a junk journal. How are you today? And this is actually a lithographed piece. And then this is an antique postcard here, obviously from Holland. Look how beautiful that is. We've got the women here in their wooden shoes going over a little river there. Another Dutch piece here from the 1920s from a children's book page, that wonderful fuzzy cardstock. This is from the 1890s from a book called Ines, and I just think it's beautiful paper. It's a beautiful advertisement there that was in the front of the book, very delicate but precious. This here is from 1940, Paris, France Almanac page. We've got the opera here, and then we've got just some fun cartoons on the other side, satire. And I love the pocket here from an antique journal. And the title of this chapter is A Friend. Now this book here is from I think it's 1903. I'll let you know in a second. Little Jan, the Dutch boy. Look at that. It was in too bad of shape to turn into a junk journal, so I made a page in this one. So here's the original first plate, and there is the original first title plate in 1905. Isn't that cool? And hiding behind it is another one of these handwritten research papers, a vintage cross stitch, and this is one of my 1920s flinch cards, and a vintage glassine envelope from a stamp collector with some international stamps in there. So how fun is that? It's very fun. Another windmill up here, Truda's geese. This is an English countryside piece from 1904. Gorgeous. This is the inside of an a vintage book. Mary Thomas's embroidery book. I've used a lot of these plates in my junk journals. This is a beautiful first plate in the book. The inscription there, 1953. And that's all on top of a vintage children's book page. And here's another one of these fun Pennsylvania Dutch napkins. I love it. That just makes me so happy. So that fits in here beautiful. And then I pulled this from another 1920s children's book page, put some vintage paper on the back, and it's one's Little Miss Muffet. Lots of journaling space there. I pulled that from a book, The Key to Yesterday. This is another theater arts, different kind of theater arts magazine page. And look at this great ad for a tribute to Ovaltine from Yvonne DiCarlo, the movie star. It's pretty cool. Look at this dress. It's stunning. Love it. Here is a wonderful postcard from 1913. I is just sending you this from Rosetown, which is a Dutch town up here in Canada. And yeah, a wonderful message on the back, dated, very cool. Here's just another antique book page, Shakespeareland from 1904. And then over here is a 1927 catalog piece that I saved. It was in pretty bad shape, but I loved it because of these beautiful pocket watches. Aren't they beautiful? And wallets and handbags on the other side. This is a vintage tree book page. Gorgeous images there. The early 1900s Rosamond book page. There's more of that Theater Arts Magazine page. Really cool here. And then fun clusters and a vintage children's book page. So I love it, and I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. You can find it at hyperstamper.etsy.com. Don't forget to subscribe and come back soon. Bye for now.